your voices and hear all of the different areas. You know what's exciting is every time that we can hear another city or another state or another town or another region. That's amazing. I'm Dr. Roz, VP of Communications here at Wakana. Excited to be on this call with you guys this morning, stepping in. Can't step in her shoes, but I can try to stand beside her, our CSO, Phyllis Nash, who we are constantly praying for her and her family and her strength and all of the things that many of us know that you have to go through when you're losing a loved one and all the preparations and all of that that is necessary. So we're keeping her and her family in our prayers, as well as many others that are going through things in your life that we may not know about, that may not be on the headlines. So I want to share what I think that Phyllis would be talking to us about, because as our CEO shared some things with us yesterday and all of the success that took place on this past weekend with Pink Rush, man, let me tell you something. When we piggyback off of things, and that's why we always talk about event after event after event, and that's why it was really important to me to have something that was similar or as close to the similarity that they were doing in Chicago. And you got to go for it. That's the best thing. You got to go for it because we're all building our business. But let me tell you something. Here's what I thought about today that would be in line with Phyllis's conversation, because we often don't recognize what's really important when we're working our business. And I thought about a book that's a very classic book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. So a lot of times, guys, our focus is so on, oh, I got to get a business partner. I got to get this. And we keep hearing it over and over again. So repetition is the mother of learning. So I'm going to say it again. We know it's a numbers game, but we also know it's all about relationship. And that's why we feel so genuinely when someone is going through some pain, or when someone is having a loss of a loved one, or when someone is even having success in their area, we feel it, because that's how you really grow your business. One of the things you must do is be genuine and be genuinely interested in other people. How many of you know sometimes you really don't care about that person? Come on now, just be real. You just want them to buy some product. You just want them to join your business. See, you got to be genuinely interested in that person. And then some of us, and I'm going to say all of us, but I'm going to include me so nobody feels picked on. Some of us need to smile. Some of us need to smile, need to raise up the corners of your mouth and smile. Okay, you say, but my teeth, my gums, my this. Look, grin, do something, have that pleasant look. Nobody wants to join the business of a person that's looking like they're not happy. The third thing that I want to share with you that the book talks about winning friends and influencing people, because that's what's going to attract people to you. See, people see you first before they see your business. They have to be attracted to you. And some people are better at it than others. Granted, I understand. But guess what? If you think you're not good at it, then that means you need to work at it. Don't just settle, I'm not good at that. That's an excuse. We can work at things that we're not really good at. There are certain things I tell people up front, that's not my area. I'm not good at that. But that doesn't mean I can't work on it. When we first started doing the bioscans, I did not do blood testing. Now, the first time I did it, I couldn't get the blood out the person's finger. And I just said, I'm never doing this again. And I would always send that to somebody else. And then one day I got caught. One of my clients, who's a Medicare client, she wanted to get the blood test, and she would not even open the package until I came to sit in front of her. And that forced me out of my comfort zone to go ahead and do the blood type testing kit. And it worked. I would have never known I really could do it if I hadn't pressed past the time where I had some difficulty doing it. So I said all that to say this. Here's my area where I'm not good: remembering a person's name. And I've read these books and how you help your memory by associating it with something that helps you remember that person's name. You know, they got ears like a raccoon, so you see the raccoon in your face every time you see that person. Whatever it is, it can be something funny in your brain that triggers an association with that person. But why is that important? Because remembering a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound they could ever hear. People like to hear their name called. That's why even when I send out emails, I might send out a generic email or a generic text to a bunch of people. Like I've invited people to our event this weekend, and I've sent out a generic text to certain people. But before I send the text, I type their name. So I may not have to type the whole message over and over again, but I'm typing something in front of the message. Hey, been a long time, Sandra. John, what's going on? How's family? And then put the generic message. So remembering that person's name is important. And I've got to get better at that because the brain doesn't remember their name sometimes. Here's number 4. And I pride myself in this one because I don't like people to start talking before they hear what you're saying. Be a good listener. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have to work on it. You have to work because sometimes, and you know the best way to work on being a good listener? Be around somebody who stutters. How many of you ever been around somebody who stutters and you're ready to cut them off because you're tired of waiting for them to get it out because they have a speech impediment? But to be a good listener, you have to wait until the person finishes. Here's a challenge for you today. Be a good listener. Everybody that you come in contact with, force yourself to wait until they pause. Some folks don't pause, right? Force yourself to wait until they have a period or just a break in their conversation. And not only that, encourage them to talk. See, that's how you find out about people. That's how you find out their pain points. You don't know if a person is having pain or having a headache or having trouble sleeping or having difficulty with their digestion or how ready to lose weight if they never tell you. So you got to be a good listener. And we've heard Coach Dan talk to us about those pain points. You have to find that person's pain point. What is their interest? Talk in terms of their interest. Your interest is you want them to buy some product. Your interest is you want them to become a partner. Your interest, see, you can't push that forward. You've got to push what is their interest. What do they need? And the beauty of this is that, Connor, we're the need meters here. We've got something to help everybody. I'm going to say that. I believe we have something to help everybody. If nothing more than to put your body in homeostasis. You may not have an issue or a condition, but I take it every day just to keep my body well so that I don't get certain things. And then be sincere. And then when somebody wants to argue, you run across those characters, right? They got something to argue about. The only way to get the best of an argument is to just what? Avoid it. You go back and forth. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't solve anything. That's not the issue. Usually that person has an issue. Yeah, they've got something else they're dealing with. And sometimes we don't recognize what a person woke up with, what's on their mind. When you reached out to them, that might not be the day to deal with it. And then we got to show respect for other people's opinions. Everybody has an opinion. So don't say you're wrong in your opinion. I understand why you see it that way. And then if you are wrong yourself, admit it. If there's a mistake, admit it. If you forgot, say you forgot. I mean, I've had to tell people, girl, I meant to do that. I didn't put it on the calendar. I had a gentleman the other day. He told on me to somebody who referred me to him and said I did not show up for a meeting. I didn't show up to do his scan. And I didn't, because I didn't put it on my calendar. I have to put things on the calendar. I use my Google Calendar like I use what is most important, okay? So when it's on the calendar, I stop right then and put it on the calendar. And that's something I've learned to do, is to stop right then and do things. People ask me to pray, I pray right then. So that way I don't have to use my brain to remember to pray, right? If somebody says, go, let's do something on a certain date, it's going on the calendar. We're stopping for that few seconds. All it takes is a few seconds to put it on the calendar, because otherwise you're going on down the road, around the corner, doing some other stuff. If you're busy, you forgot. Okay, so whatever method you use to keep yourself on check, whether that's Google Calendar, whether that's writing in the calendar, whatever that is, do it. And if you miss it, you miss it. We all miss it sometime. It's okay. It's okay. Don't be so hard on yourself. Admit it quickly and emphatically and correct it. And then we have to work hard to get people to say yes. Yes to something. Do you know anybody with pain? Yes. See, it doesn't always have to be directly related to them. But if you relate it to somebody else, do you know anyone? Do you know anyone? See, that takes all the pressure off that you're trying to get them to do it. Because everybody knows somebody that's dealing with diabetes or high blood pressure or cancer, or somebody's got some pain in their joints. Everybody knows somebody. So again, let the other person do as much talking as possible. I know some of y'all like to talk. Y'all think I like to talk. I promise you I don't. I promise you I don't. It comes off that way, but I really don't. I love to hear other people talk. So, and you have to let the other person feel that whatever the idea is their idea. I do that with my husband all the time. Don't tell him I said that, but let him feel like it's his idea when I already said it. I said it 2 weeks ago. Don't tell him. Okay, so, and then try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. And in that, I'm closing with this. The only way on earth, this is a quote, to influence other people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. And I know we don't like to hear the word influence. We think we treat that as a negative word. But it's not a negative word when you're leading them into a positive place. When you're guiding them, because people need guidance because they don't know what they need until they need it. They don't know that we have the answer here at Wakana. We have the answer with the Flat Belly Lifestyle. We have the answer with our CBD products. We have solutions for individuals. But because sometimes they don't know it, or because they're programmed to believe certain things, certain beliefs, then you have to give them time to make those changes. So let's win friends. Let's do that today. Let's influence some people today in a positive direction. And let's be some good listeners. Today is Tuesday. Today is our Medical Advisory Board Day, being led by Dr. Betty and the Medical Advisory Board, and different topics that they're coming up with. So listen, that's a great time for you to invite someone to tune in tonight at 8 p.m. We sent out the new 2023 virtual, the virtual agenda. So check your emails. You should have gotten that. It was attached to a different email, to another email. And let's continue to pray for our Wakana nation. Let's pray for our CSO. Let's pray for everybody, because there's power in prayer. Have a great Wakana kind of day, and bye for now.